mind and resistance are one and the same. So happiness is simply that state whereby we perceive of conditions as being positive. Happiness is caused by events being termed positive, and unhappiness is caused by events being termed as negative. Now this is that single video that you need that is going to change your whole perspective, and you will now understand what we mean when we say surrendering is the goal. Surrendering is the key to actually living according to the flow of life. And in this video, I'll be taking some concepts that I derived from this great book. It's called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. If you get a chance of getting a hold of this book, please read it. It's very, very mind-changing, life-transforming. And the main content of the day, as I've just said, it's all about learning to cope or going with the flow of life, learning to live with peace with yourself, even if your external reality is not what you would call that which is good. So in this is chapter, I think it's chapter 11, it's 9. It says, beyond happiness and unhappiness, there is peace. And this chapter mainly talks about what people call happiness and unhappiness. And beyond what we term as happiness and unhappiness, we have peace. So happiness is simply that state whereby we perceive of conditions as being positive. When we see events as being positive, then we are happy. But when events happen and we label them as being negative, then we are unhappy. Okay? So happiness is caused by events being termed positive, and unhappiness is caused by events being termed as negative. Okay, so many people depend on events being positive for them to feel happy, but that is simply an illusion, because beyond events being termed as positive or events being termed as negative, we have that which we call peace. So you have to understand there's a difference between peace and happiness. So instead of making a life goal to chase happiness, which is something which you cannot attain, make it a goal to attain peace. Because when you are at peace, you might not be happy, you might be unhappy, but you might be at peace. You see, peace surpasses superficial happiness. Peace goes beyond the external reality. You see, happiness depends on conditions being perceived as positive. Peace does not depend upon any condition. Peace is just a state of being. And when you tune into the state of being of peace, this is whereby you will face tribulation, you will go through problems, you will go through trials, but you will still feel that inner stillness, that inner peace. And that inner peace will always and always get you through any kind of problem, any kind of setback that you actually find yourself in. So the question is, how do you now tune into this peace that is beyond the happiness and unhappiness? The key to understanding how to attain peace is to understand that we have what you call the superficiality of the mind, or how the mind sees as reality, okay, and how God sees reality. So let's begin with how the mind sees reality. So if you are still identified with your mind, meaning if you are still living in this false illusion that we call life, and you identify with the physical reality, the world of form, if you identify with what you have, what you are, which is in terms of your social status, in simpler terms, if you identify yourself with the physical world, you are identified with your mind. And when you're identified with your mind, you are subject to what you call duality. Okay, so duality is the existence of polarity or polar opposites. So if you are identified with your mind, then you will always perceive of things in two polar opposites, either good or bad, white, black, night, day, that kind of sense, right? That happens when you are identified with your mind. Okay, but this is now the truth. Beyond, on a higher scale, when you are now looking at life, when you are now identified with your higher self, or with who you truly are beyond name and form, you then realize that there is no such thing as duality, and you come to the realization that everything is simply one. There is no duality of any sort. Everything simply comes from that one source energy. Everything is simply one. That is the understanding, that is the realization that you come to understand. Okay, so how does it work so that we say that everything is one? Now, beyond what you call good and bad, we have the higher good. Now think about it this way. Every circumstance which came as a negative circumstance, it had some good embedded in it. And every circumstance which you might label as negative or as good will have something bad that it will bring forth later. In other words, what you call good and bad are just intertwined. What might bring you happiness today might be the cause of your misery the next moment. So good, what you call good and bad are they are subjective depending on your point of view, and they occur in the mind identified state. But on the higher state, you understand that every event, every circumstance, every outcome, it has its role to play. It has its divine purpose to play. And beyond that good and bad, we have the higher good. Everything is always leading to that higher good. So when you have that perspective in mind, you move in life with that idea in mind, whereby whatever happens, it is for the greater good. So instead of going about life labeling things, judging things, placing those labels, this is good, this is bad, you understand that beyond the superficiality of this thing being seen as if it's bad or good, on a higher scale, on a higher perspective, it is going to bring the greater good. And that means that when things happen to you, you don't react, you don't judge, you simply are. So when you understand this, then you stop resisting life. Remember, the mind and resistance are one and the same. The reason, the cause of all suffering is actually resistance, trying to control the inevitable. So when you stop resisting, that is to say, you accept what is. What is what is unfolding in this present moment, or what has already unfolded, which we now place into the memory as the past. What happened in the past already happened. What is happening now already is. What you think will happen in the future is not yet. So by accepting, you accept what is, meaning what is unfolding and what has already unfolded. And when you accept what is, that is to say, you have that is forgiveness. You have allowed the past to be as it is, and you have allowed the present to be as it is. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that to accept what is, you should not feel sadness, you should not feel pain, you should not experience the emotions that come with it. By accepting what is you not trying to create mental attachments to what has happened. It's you saying, I feel bad at this moment, it is also allowed to be. You allow yourself to experience the emotions, not trying to resist them, not trying to deny them, but you simply allow them to be. So if you're going through grief, if you're going through sorrows, if you're going through any kind of emotion, allow it to be. Don't try to create something else out of that. See the situation as it is and allow it to unfold as it is. The more you do this, you enter into the present moment and you unlock a new state of consciousness whereby you become one with the flow of life. And once you become one with the flow of life, you now attract all the things that are in tune with that vibration. Because when you are at peace, you have tuned into the creation energy. Peace is the creation energy. Think of it this way. Let's say everything which you ever wanted to have, you already are in possession of. How would you feel? How would you behave? You will feel peaceful, you will feel ease, you will feel calm, you will feel relaxed, you will feel still. So you should learn to incorporate those emotions, those states of being. So each and every moment, this is how you know if you are in the present moment. This is how you know if you are in a state of acceptance. Observe your internal state. Are you at ease? Are you relaxed? Are you calm? If so, then you are at peace. You have accepted what is. But when you feel some form of tension, go deeper into that tension. Try to unmask the unconsciousness behind that tension, behind that fear, behind that hidden emotion that you're feeling. And that is simply how you tune into that state. Now, if this video has been of benefit to you and you'd love to watch more, or you'd like to work one-on-one with me in our online coaching sessions, please take the number in the description and also the email. You DM me the word interested, book your sessions, we get to work together. And also don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay safe, stay blessed, and stay awakened.